Okay. All right. Dominic. Hi, Dominic.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm looking forward to talking about you. You're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects. So let's get into it. What would you like to have a discussion with us again today?
Okay, well, first of all, let me thank both of you guys for letting me on the show.
Happy to have you.
And let me start by saying the following.
Okay.
I have a way to prove that gods and immortals are real, and I have a way to prove that a soul is real, and I also have a way to prove if a path you're following is of divine origin in regards to ascending.
Okay, so why don't we start with your way to prove gods are real, because we have limited time. So
did you say
gods
really and immortals?
Gods and immortals, yeah.
Are immortals different than gods?
I'll get into it a little bit. Okay, so let me start by telling you that what I'm about to tell you, I speak only for myself. I'm not representing anyone else with what I'm telling you.
Okay.
Why is there always got to be a preamble? Can't you just give us what you got? Go for it.
Okay, so there's this meditation practice. It's called Falun Dafa. It's also called Falun Gong, and it teaches to tell the truth, to be benevolent, and to endure. So basically, to become better people. And it explains a lot about the universe and the stuff that I just explained. And currently, it's being persecuted by the Chinese Communist government. That's how I found out about it, through the people giving out flyers in New York City. So I got into the practice, and it revealed a lot of things to me. And during the course of my ascending, because the practice is about becoming a Buddha, and during the course of me ascending and trying to become a Buddha, certain things were revealed to me. And one of the things that was revealed to me is the following. The way you can prove immortals are real is to analyze the nature of human beings and the nature of human origins. Basically, what I understand is that Buddhas, like, you have certain beings called like immortal beings. Some of them are called Buddhas, some of them called gods, some of them called immortals. And basically, some of them falling off resulted in them becoming human. And there's a way you can show this is true. Like, let's start with ignorance. Let me ask you a question, Shannon or Phil. Anyone can answer, right? Okay. Do you have a way to show that gods are real? Yes or no?
I don't think God is real, so I would say no, you can't.
I'll go with no.
Okay, and
I'm going to step bolder, neither do you, but go ahead.
Okay, so with you having no way to show it's real, right? Like, you don't know whether it's real or not, right?
No, I'm convinced that it's not real. I'm absolutely
I'm going to go even further. I'm convinced it can't be real.
I would probably kind of agree with that. Yeah.
Oh,
yep.
Okay, so would it be fair for me to say, like, you don't know whether there's a God or not?
No, because I feel as though I know that there is not a God, the same way that I know that 1 + 1 doesn't equal 720.
Yeah, I would not say for me that it's like this I might or might not 50-50 toss-up thing. I think the profound lack of evidence, the profound diversity of religion within the world shows that there's likely to be nothing to it, because more than two people should agree on how this stuff works. We have thousands, if not tens of thousands, of types of Christianity just in the United States, because they can't all agree. It's actually profound that they can't agree. But so go ahead. What's your next flowchart item?
Okay, so because of you not knowing, have you ever like contemplated mentally whether or not there's a God or not?
That literally we host a show where we talk about it every week. No.
I don't even understand the formatting of that question. Because you don't know, have you ever thought of what if?
Yeah, in order to form an opinion, you kind of have to think about it, one would assume.
Yeah.
Okay, because
the first
I'll tell you something.
The first question you asked was, do you have an opinion on X? And the second question you had was, have you ever thought about X?
Yeah, gosh, no, I never thought about it. After my long,
I never thought about that thing I formulated an opinion on.
Yep, never.
So you say, okay. So have you ever? What I'm saying is, have you ever thought about whether or not there could be a God, because of you being in a position in which you don't know if there is a God or not?
Well, you're also attributing a position specifically to me, where I assert there is no God. I just actively assert that there is no God. It's not that I'm unsure. I'm not sitting on the fence. I'm not curious about it, but abstaining from making a decision. I don't even think that there's a coherent definition of a God that is internally consistent.
At how nonsensical your question is, and then after Shannon very politely explained to you why it was nonsensical, you re-asked it. I don't know. Is it? Are we breaking up when you hear us? Is it not coming through clear? I don't understand what the problem with the communication is here.
No,
Yeah,
I was trying to ask a question because I wanted to show you something. Like what I want.
Yes, we've both thought about it. We both thought about it then. Like, let's just, we've both thought about it.
Okay, so what I want to show you is that when someone doesn't know something, is it fair to say that they possess a certain level of ignorance in regards to what they don't know?
No, that's not fair to say. No.
Like,
so
this red pen, I don't know that it's blue. That doesn't mean that it is or isn't blue. So not knowing doesn't tell you anything about what you don't know. You just don't know. So I think you ran into a dead end, and I'm glad we're going to help you with that.
And also, my answer to your first question prevented your need for the second questions, because I see where you're kind of where you're going now. You're saying, like, do you know for sure there is no God? Basically, was kind of your first question. My answer to that is yes. I feel as though I know. The second question is, have you thought about it? Yes, I have thought about it. And the third question is, I think, dependent on us being ambiguous about it and not saying, yes, like definitively no to the first question.
And this is one of those things, I think, Shannon, there's a script being read here, and the process is to lead you or me or both of us down this process. And at each step, we're saying, no, that's not the case. And it falls apart. But apparently Dominic can't stop reading the script, even though we've broken it. So I'm
invested now, though. So I'm curious. So, all right. So no, I don't think there is a God. Yes, I have thought about it. So your third question is, do I believe that not knowing something entails some degree of ignorance about that thing? Is that your third question?
No, what I'm trying to show you is this. Because of ignorance, a lack of knowledge.
Okay.
Cause people to think about certain things is what I was trying to show you. For example, in my case, like if I didn't know if there was a God or not, I would be ignorant concerning whether there was a God. And because of that, I could stop thinking about finding an answer as to whether or not there is a God, is what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay, I think you're misusing the word ignorant there, though. Like, do you see where you might be misusing the word ignorant? Like, if you can say, I'm not 100% sure whether there is or isn't a God, but not be ignorant about myriad information pertaining to that claim. So you could have deliberated on a multitude of evidence that pertains to that claim, which would make you not ignorant of things pertaining to that claim. So, like, for you to be completely ignorant, you would have had to have access to no information about that claim, right?
Not necessarily, because to be completely ignorant, you'd have to have no.
What does the word ignorant mean to you?
Lack of knowledge.
It means lack of knowledge. So it means that you don't have knowledge on the subject at all, right?
No, I'm not. Okay, I'm not saying like you have no knowledge of the subject. I'm just saying it doesn't have to be absolutely no knowledge, just a certain portion of knowledge you're lacking. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so you're saying that, so let's use another hypothetical, since we're using hypotheticals right now. So let's say that all of the evidence that's been presented to me that I deliberated over pertaining to a God is all the evidence there is. Am I ignorant then?
Not necessarily, because that would simply be all the knowledge, all the evidence.
Definitionally, the answer would have to be no there. Like, if you're honest, definitionally, the answer would have to be no, because I now have access to all of the information. I'm not ignorant of the information. Definitionally, in this hypothetical, I have access to all of it, right? So in this hypothetical, which you can't disprove, like we could even say it's reality. I could say, okay, so far as I'm concerned, I have access to and have deliberated all of the information pertaining to a God that is available. So I am not ignorant of any of it. And I've determined that there's no God after deliberating all of the information. You seem to be looking for a hole to plug ignorance into so that you can say that when there's ambiguity pertaining to something that like we haven't currently been presented with evidence for, that ignorance is a hole, like a God-shaped hole that can demonstrate that God is at least at the very least a probability. But a probability isn't sufficient for a belief,
this
right?
sounds
Like a
the
limited
previous call.
probability.
To have a miracle, you have to be ignorant of how it actually works, and to have a God, you have to be ignorant. Is that where we're going here?
No,
Seems like.
that's not at all where I'm going. No.
So
Okay.
we have
Cool. Break on
evidence
this.
of a deity. Then
I'm
let's
trying
go that route.
Okay, I'm trying to show you with ignorance how humans came into being is where I'm going.
Yeah, but
Like,
if you want to say anything, you're going to start by saying, I'm going to explain something to you by discussing how ignorant you are. Why don't you just explain it to us? So assume we're ignorant just for laughs and give us the evidence.
Cool. Yeah, do that.
okay, let's just do that. So
Cool.
let's say let's say someone doesn't know if there's a God or not, right? Like
That's not evidence. That's you're rehashing what we just all agreed to not do. What's the evidence?
I was trying. Okay, let me just say it. Like what I was trying to say is that because of ignorance, right? People could think about certain things.
Let me go. Okay.
Go ahead.
I want to hear your point after all this, please. I need to pay off.
Okay, and because people think about certain things, they possess a certain awareness of what they're thinking about. For example, if you think right now, I am Shannon, you're aware of those thoughts. If you think right now, I am Phil, you're aware of those thoughts. And because you are aware, structures and forms come into being. Because let's suppose like all awareness were to cease utterly throughout the totality of reality.
No, I can't. You're breaking my brain, dude. If I don't think about myself, if I'm not aware of myself, I cease to exist. I think that is just so boldly wrong that it's embarrassing for you. I can't believe you said it.
Yeah, like you'd have to poof out of existence when you were under anesthesia.
Yeah,
for that to make sense.
Shit, I'm not doing another dental surgery.
Right, like, and also it ignores everything we know about perceptual cognition from like a neuroscience perspective.
And what happens when a person's in a coma? What if they really do lose the awareness that they exist? Do they stop existing? Do they vaporize? Do they go somewhere else? They don't. They're still there.
That's not what I meant.
What did you mean then? Because that's what we heard you say.
Yep.
So what did you mean if that's not what you?
Like because you can't, like, when someone's in a coma, exactly, you can't exactly say the nature they have that is aware is gone.
Yeah, well, we made our point on the whole body thing. Give us the evidence that we're still waiting for.
Okay, so let's say you have awareness now. Because you now have awareness, you can now have names and forms that things have. Because when you're aware, you could give names to things, right? For example, if you have a son or daughter, you could give that person a name because of you being aware. You can use your awareness to develop a name for that person. And you could also use your awareness to direct yourself to alter the forms that things have. So you can have
alter the forms that things have.
Okay, what do I have to do to make this not be a phone? Like, what do I do to make this not be a phone? Like to alter the form of it. So I've named this phone. I, Shannon, have deemed this with my conscious experience to be a phone. I have given it a name. Now what do I have to do as Shannon to alter the form of this phone?
A simple example would be to just break it in two pieces.
So so you're just saying that we can manipulate the physical environment. Is that all you're attempting to say? Is that we can use our bodies to manipulate the physical environment? That's not changing the form of something.
When I cut a pizza in half, do I have two pizzas? That's awesome.
Oh, I'm exceptionally confused. Like this is a long road to hoe to get to a point that doesn't really like.
Well, and the point is there isn't evidence, because if he had some, he would have given even a tease of it by now. But all we get is questions.
Yeah, I'm super confused.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not getting there.
Again, Christians, you got to call in, because if these are your representatives, damn, I'm really worried for you.
And we have more calls too. Like, so I'm gonna give you one more chance, Dominique, to try to give me your elevator pitch. Like in under 30 seconds, give me your elevator pitch for why it is that I should believe in this God that you're attempting to get me to that's not effectively happening yet.
Okay. So within the culture of the Buddha, within the culture of the Buddhas, there's something called dependent origination, and there's something called the 12 links of dependent origination. It starts with ignorance and it ends with death, basically. And there's a pattern that shows how ignorance gave rise to mortal beings, right? And if you follow that pattern in reverse, you'll understand like that the beings that gave rise to the ignorance to become mortal were not mortal prior to becoming ignorant, is what I'm trying to tell you. And you could follow the chain and understand how humans and mortals came into being.
All right.
So you've hit your 30 seconds. I am still an atheist. I am going to let you go now. I'm not sure I followed where any of that was leading, but I appreciate the conversation, Dominique. Have a good rest of your day. I'm maybe more confused than I was when we started.
Is the purpose of this show to make me more convinced that Christianity is wrong? Because
I'm just well, he was a Buddhist by the sounds of it. It sounded like he was a Buddhist, but
wow.
But a Buddhist that believes in God. It's interesting. Okay, I don't know what God.
I may have to go get some alcohol and come back.
I know it was a huge mistake that I made. I'm drinking water today. That was.
Oh my God.
We all make choices. Sometimes we make the wrong.